take a look at the beautiful main base on the right top side of the Dutch Terran player that's representing Team Liquid. It is UTHERMAL.
He's going to be walling off on the low ground on this map against his opponent, the Blue Zerg. In the southwest, he is Elazer. Team a go.
Now, talk to me about that supply depot, Nate, because that's not something I see super often in this.
This honestly, my first thought
REAPERs?
goes back. Yeah, actually, my first thought goes back to watching Massa play in the end of our Challenger last year. He did this a lot versus Zergs, where you'll wall off with a couple of racks and then put another one sometimes in the main base, and you basically just use the wall from your initial Reaper opening to cover so that you can expand behind it. You know, you don't build them all in your main. You want to be able to build the natural on location. So we'll probably see the second depot go below that second racks, but I really wouldn't be surprised if a third barracks was started in the main and then another gas. But UTHERMAL may also not be as crazy as Massa, and he just wants to do 2 racks Reaper, put on pressure, be a little bit aggressive, but not too insane. I kind of like seeing a bit of the strategy come back. I don't know if you saw that there was a clip from UTHERMAL's stream. I believe it was UTHERMAL.
Turbo Cruise.
The Tom Cruise 84, and I'm like, I love seeing the Reaper usage in the slow zones against those links. So I'm like, I guess some of these players should be getting their practice up. There is the third barracks, by the way, and the second gas. So this is going to be, it's going to be a lot of Reapers. And I like seeing these builds kind of pop back up every now and again, because A, it serves the purpose of blocking off the natural for the later expand, but B, you just don't see it as much, right? Like, Mass Reaper just doesn't really happen that often versus Zerg, and naturally, you know, the Zerg players don't have as much practice against it anymore, so the build kind of becomes viable through no effect other than it not being used anymore, if that makes sense.
I do think it's worth bringing up that back in the Reaper era, when a lot of people were doing this build, and it was obviously a little bit more powerful than it currently is because the grenades did more damage as well, UTHERMAL was one of the biggest flag carriers, I would say, of this build, right? He did
100%.
it over and over and over again. He was obviously well known for his Reaper control, was incredibly good with it. I think he kind of inspired back then our second best Terran player to be just like him, as Optimus was also building nothing but Reapers back then.
Yep.
So he's not a stranger to the build. He's done it a lot, but I am with you that I do think it's a little bit surprising to see him bust it out here in game 1.
Yeah, I honestly would have. I was kind of hoping that we would get Neo Turbo Cruise just so we could have him try to do that and have that funny interaction on that map.
Expand as well,
But
right? Relatively quick.
So he gets the expand as fast as he can behind it in the natural, and like it's completely walled off, so counterattack not really an option, especially without Ling speed, of course. So your goal here, actually the biggest effect of this is you kind of like delay the third base. And of course, you want to force the Zerg to build anything but drones, right? You need a lot of Lings. One of the best ways to deal with this for a Zerg player, actually really good grab on that Reaper, but one of the best ways to deal with this for a Zerg player is you get on enough speedlings that you can just swallow the army all at once. Like, you get one big surround, maybe you lose the Lings, it's not a huge deal. If you get the Reapers and you bring an end, this strategy is completely momentum based. But UTHERMAL, he's gonna get another barracks. He's got the engineering bay, and we've seen Massa do this. You get that fast +1, the Reaper shoots twice, so it benefits very heavily. If it has an upgrade advantage, it's kind of disgusting how much damage the Reapers can do.
I think Elazer is misreading this a tiny bit as well, right? Because he's getting an evolution chamber now, and I have the feeling that that's not what you want to have if your opponent is deciding to go for 1,000,000 Reapers. No, he is not going up to 3 bases yet, but he did slowly but steady go back into droning. He's still making a couple of links here and there as well. Obviously, with the Queens, Elazer is going to be fine here, but I'm starting to worry a little bit. Wouldn't it have been a lot better for Elazer if he would have gone for a Roach build?
Yeah, I mean, I still like Zerglings. If you can get the surround, if you can get the surround on the Reapers, it's really nice. But UTHERMAL's doing something very smart. First of all, he's not really pushing onto creep much. Most of his creep zoning has been in the main base, and that's drawing the energy away from the Queen. So in an eventual fight, he actually doesn't have Transfuse available, so that one Queen gets very hurt. And I think he's got 1 Transfuse that will be available soon, but just grabbing a couple of creep tumors here and there with how few units there are on the map, if he sees that third base, he should be able to shut that down very easily too. But that's actually very nice that Elazer was able to get a drone over there if he does eventually hold this. But man, he transitioned into a 2 base 5 racks Reaper. And with +1
Reapers.
attack,
I know.
he's gonna annihilate these Zerglings.
5 Reapers at once are being produced at this point. Now, these Lings are going to try to be annoying, and they will pick off 1 Reaper in the middle of the map, but that also means that the main is maybe a little more exposed. You mentioned transfuse energy, Nate. I believe there is a little bit of it. Now, Elazer is actually tacking up during all of this. Still 5 Reapers, and what I'm looking forward to is this tiny window that we will have that's going to start in 10 seconds, where the Reapers have +1, but Carapace is not done yet for the Lings. Let's see if UTHERMAL can capitalize on that little window.
Yeah, this is a massive opportunity right now as he gets ready to push forward here, especially if he can get a fight before, as you were talking about, the +1 Carapace. It's a lot of Reapers, so normally they do 4 damage times 2. Now it is 5 times 2, so they can punch that Queen Armor a little bit better, and they really wreck these Zerglings. As we see this initial engagement, yeah, he's obliterating everything that he gets his hands on. He doesn't want to get too far forward. He's still scared of getting completely surrounded and overwhelmed here, but the Reapers are holding their own very well.
That is so smart. Going back in the main base, too many Lings were on the low ground. More Queens are falling. Carapace is finally finishing up, but guess what, Nate? Most of the Lings have already disappeared. He doesn't have the Ling numbers anymore. There is a Baneling nest. Now finally he should be able to get a couple of these Reapers. Elazer that is, and he's getting quite a few of them actually. But he lost all of his Queens.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that he has going for him as he floods out another wave of Lings is he was able to get that 3rd earlier that we talked about. The Reapers were not able to get a sniff on that. They were not able to get up and try to do any denial. So if Elazer can hold on, he's got that base at least to work with. But UTHERMAL starts his 3rd command center. UTHERMAL is also getting +1 armor to follow this up. So he's thinking about the long term as well in terms of these Reapers and an eventual transition into bio. I assume that will happen.
Still a lot of Reapers alive here. Not a single Baneling is on the map, despite the fact that there is a Baneling nest. Obviously, Baneling speed wouldn't be done anyway. Look at these Reapers go, Nate, in the natural. Another Queen is falling very low in HP. It will go down.
Done.
Wow.
Just think about